After a weekend of immigration protest, new demonstrations today in downtown San Diego. Activists speak out against the government's immigration policy. And a fast-growing wildfire near Sacramento is threatening homes. See some of the damage that's already done.
Welcome home, Chief Stoll. Welcome home.
A new chief for San Diego firefighters. Why the mayor is going with a familiar face to lead the department.
How to count money, how to budget your money, communication skills, social skills.
And we'll show you a local program that's helping young adults with autism live successful, confident lives. KPBS Evening Edition starts right now. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Ebone Monet. Frustration over family separations fueled protests from Chicano Park to downtown San Diego today. At one point, protesters displayed a large banner on the side of the Westin Hotel that reads, "Free our families now." It's a change in tactic from the permanent marches we saw this weekend. KPBS reporter Taryn Minto has the sights and sounds from today's event.
I'm sick and tired of... I'm sorry. It's just... I can't imagine the suffering the people who don't have their child with them. I'm blessed to be here with her, and if it's a little bit that I can put to make a difference, I would do whatever it takes.
Down to the border, took back what they stole from me now.
You know, people from across the country came, here, folks from here in San Diego, from the region, from California, and all the way from New York City. Folks gathered for a children's march. We felt that it was important to bring children to the site of where some of these decisions are being made. We saw art, puppets, a float. There was other groups of folks that did different, distributed, decentralized action, nonviolent civil disobedience.
This is for our sisters who are locked inside. Together we will abolish lies. Mothers! This is for our mothers who are locked inside.
So First Amendment rights, we love you guys coming out here and doing it. We just need you to off the building so that there's no fire hazards, no breaking the law.
I'm a city council member and alderman in the city of Chicago, and I'm here today because we need to abolish ICE. The only way that we can keep our families together is if we end the practices of Jeff Sessions, the Department of Justice, and ICE, and end that agency completely.
A banner was hung from Westin here behind me.
People that were involved with mi gente were protesting Barack Obama around 2 million deportations, demanding no more deportations, demanding that Donald Trump not continue those same policies. So we've been protesting him all along. But again, Donald Trump's and Jeff Sessions' attacks have intensified against our communities, and that's why now our response is intensifying. So you're going to hear more of us, you're going to see more of us. This fight has just begun.
San Diego police estimate 800 people took part in the protest. 10 arrests were made for trespassing and other charges. Voters in Mexico have rejected major political parties, choosing instead a leftist to be the next president. Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador is the former mayor of Mexico City. He goes by the nickname AMLO. His Morena party was founded in 2012. He ran on a platform of anti-corruption, raising salaries and pensions for seniors and scholarships for the young. This is some of the scene last night in Mexico City where crowds gathered for a victory speech. President Donald Trump sent a congratulatory tweet, even though Lopez Obrador is promising to take a tougher stance against the Trump administration. KPBS talked to San Diego's Border Patrol chief about the change in leadership.
I think once he sits down with the leadership and they start having briefings, if you will, to bring them up to speed on the dialogue we're currently having about Mexico being a safe third nation, about really trying to improve the safety and security of the entire region, the entire hemisphere, not just the United States. I think he's going to be surprised at some of the good work that's going on behind the scenes.
PBS NewsHour will have more coverage on Mexico's election and what it will mean for immigration and trade with the U.S. You can watch the NewsHour at 7 here on KPBS. A new fire chief has been chosen by San Diego's mayor. Eric Anderson has more on his credentials and the challenges he faces.
Colin Stillwell knows the San Diego Fire and Rescue Department well. He began his career working for them in 1988, and he held a variety of positions in his nearly 3 decades of service. Stillwell left the department in 2016 to take the top job at Heartland Fire. San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer says that experience gives him confidence in Stillwell.
Chief Stoll is the right person to carry that vision forward and to continue making the investments needed to keep our neighborhood safe.
His appointment still needs council approval. San Diego Fire and Rescue has had a tough time getting to emergency calls fast enough. A report released last year found the department struggled to hit the 7.5-minute standard for reaching a site after a 911 call. Department-wide, the average response time was 8 minutes 10 seconds. New fire stations will help, but Stillwell says he'll look at different approaches to cut average response times.
We cannot continue to just add more resources, more fire engines, more ambulances out on the streets to take care of the call volume. We need to look at alternative ways and deployment models of how we're going to deliver those services and the appropriate services.
The chief officially takes office in mid-August, but he says he'll have planning meetings with fire department officials before that happens so that he can hit the ground running. Eric Anderson, KPBS News.
San Diego fire crews say they're ready if called on to help with the growing wildfire near Sacramento. CAL FIRE calls this the county fire. It started Saturday and has already burned 45,000 acres. That's about 70 square miles. Fire crews say high winds, heat, and low humidity are making this a difficult fire to contain. Right now, it's at less than 5%. The fire is threatening dozens of buildings, including homes, and some evacuations have been ordered.
We don't even call it fire season. There is no season anymore. It is year-round. We've seen that for the last several years. Someone asked me this morning, oh, this is the new normal. Well, the new normal was last year. We're in the normal.
Smoke from the wildfire blew into the Bay Area on Sunday. These pictures from the San Francisco Chronicle show the Golden Gate Bridge obscured by an orange fog. A San Diego City Councilwoman is backing off a plan to take better control of the Housing Commission. KPBS reporter Claire Tragesser tells us how this might impact a program meant to desegregate neighborhoods.
A federal program is asking cities to give more valuable housing vouchers to people who want to move into pricier neighborhoods, with the idea that would help desegregate them. Councilwoman Georgette Gomez had planned to ask the council to take more authority over the San Diego Housing Commission to achieve that goal. Now she says she's focused on other things.
I need to make a decision in terms of when to prioritize things, being that we're not making decisions right now for the Section 8 vouchers in terms of the amount, that it's important, but I need to protect people that are getting discriminated right now.
She's currently focused on building more affordable housing and preventing landlords from denying homes to voucher holders. She would still like more control over how the Housing Commission gives out vouchers, but she doesn't have a timeline for when she'd move on the issue. Claire Tragesser, KPBS News.
Getting ready for the adult world can be difficult for any young person, especially for students with special needs. KPBS education reporter Megan Burks shows us the unique way the San Diego Center for Children is easing that transition.
I want you to hold this, count the orders for me. How many, Shay? 11. Cool. My name is Demetrius Vidilich, and I'm at San Diego Center for Children. Today we went through the process of doing Fast and Furious food delivery.
Fast and Furious is what Vidilich and his classmates call their weekly food delivery service. 17-year-old Devin Wells came up with the name.
It's fast and it's good food delivery, and it comes fast to the staff.
Today they have a big Subway order to fill for teachers at the center.
You want to do the first one?
Thomas Ono Machado is their teacher. He's focused on helping the students become independent adults.
How to count money, how to budget your money, communication skills, social skills, and how to get around with the bus and trolley.
That's the goal behind Fast and Furious, to foster independence.
I think the best thing about the food delivery is that it encompasses so many things in one activity. So you get the social skills out of it, you get the language arts and reading because you can read off the forms. The students will help me write the script if we need one. It helps with math because now you're handling change and we're deciding how much we want to charge for different items. And so I guess the biggest thing that we've seen is that the students are really taking leadership of this whole program. You're gonna do the big order with 5 in 1. It has the credit card and it has the gift cards in it.
Yes.
Are you ready?
18-year-old Shay Harbor takes a stack of order forms to the counter.
Spinach, onions. The very first time we did this, it was kind of stressful because I didn't know how to cook, meet new people and to take orders from the order forms. And it feels like a lot easier for me now.
All together?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Ono Machado says after 10 months of delivering to staff and nearby businesses, that's true for all of his students.
Our students have come a long way. You know, at the beginning, we had scripts to read off of, and we used that for months. And even some of the students, as they probably told you, struggled even just reading the script, making eye contact. But now what you see is a lot of confidence in the students, a lot of personability with the staff that they come into contact with here on campus, and also you see that personability when they go out into the community and go into the restaurants.
Thank you. Well, we got all the orders.
We did get all the orders. How do you think it went today? I thought it went pretty smooth.
Very smooth.
Very smooth.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Subway. They always, when I come to Subway, they have a good attitude.
They do. They treat us very well here.
Yes. Very patient.
Back at school, Devin Wells announces their arrival on the walkie-talkie.
This is D West. Fast and Furious food delivery is on our way.
The students fan out to deliver the sandwiches and change.
For classroom 4.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shay.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's awesome.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well, Shay.
Thank you.
The first delivery goes well, but next door...
Oh, I got the wrong order forms.
Okay, well then we have to fix that.
So there's one in for costume 3?
Miss Shudders?
Okay, so I got the right one. Thank you.
Perfect. Hey, Shay, that was great to clarify, though, to make sure everyone got their order.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Ono Machado hopes to have all of his students employed by the end of summer.
That's it.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Megan Burks, KPBS News.
I'm Judy Woodruff. Tonight on the NewsHour, Ola AMLO, analysis of Mexico's historic election that ushers in a new government. Coming up at 7, right after Evening Edition on KPBS.
California Highway Patrol begins a maximum enforcement period tomorrow. Drivers will see added patrols beginning at 6 p.m. for the 4th of July holiday. CHP will be looking for impaired drivers. 1,200 arrests were made across the state during last year's 4th of July period. Law enforcement agencies from across the county were in Mission Bay this morning to get their message out. This is the first 4th of July enforcement period since marijuana has been legalized for recreational use. Escondido's chief of police was among those reminding people that DUI doesn't just mean alcohol.
You're going to see a lot of extra officers out there all focusing on DUI enforcement. And we're not just talking about alcohol, we're talking about drugs, marijuana, prescription drugs, and the combination of all. So don't drink and drive, and be responsible, get that safe ride home.
In addition to marijuana, impaired drivers can also be arrested for being under the influence of prescription drugs. The State Office of Traffic Safety says the average cost for a first-time DUI offense is $10,000. A big warm-up is expected after the 4th of July holiday, with highs near 90 expected on the coast. Aaron Calandra has details in tonight's forecast.
Happy Monday to you. I hope you had a great weekend, and we're starting off the work week pretty good. It's nice outside. We don't have any precipitation. Temperatures are right around average. Taking a look across the southwest, well, things are looking nice across California. Nothing to really talk about. We don't really have any storms moving in, but our temperatures, they are going to slowly increase throughout the week. So for tonight, 64 degrees, a couple of clouds around. Of course, they're going to be lingering in the morning hours and then breaking up. Oceanside tonight at 63, San Diego 64, and Chula Vista right around the same. Further inland here, Borrego Springs 72, and Mount Laguna a cool 55 degrees. It is very hot in the deserts, triple digits, but right along the coast, we have that nice cool breeze coming in off the Pacific, and that keeps our community right along the coast very comfortable. That's what we'll see in San Diego on tomorrow, on our Tuesday. So 73 degrees for the high temperature with lots of sunshine. Chula Vista 73, and Oceanside a little warmer at 75. Ramona 85, and Borrego Springs 104. Make sure you're staying hydrated if that's where you are. We are still seeing drought conditions, pretty severe in most areas and even extreme once you get into those interior regions. Now, as far as the outlook for the 4th of July, it's going to be hot and dry. We do have concerns for wildfires here around the Four Corners. So as far as fireworks, probably not the best idea for those communities, but of course, that's going to be up to the local government and agencies there. For us, there shouldn't really be much of a problem. It's going to be pretty nice, though. Look at these temperatures jumping up to near 90 by the weekend. So the beach is certainly going to be a popular place. And then interior areas, it's going to be hot. We're talking 103 by Friday. So these temperatures can be dangerously hot. Make sure you're checking on the elderly family members, neighbors, kiddos, and animals. Make sure everyone is staying hydrated and cool. In the mountains, we reach the 90s, 91 over the weekend. And in the deserts, really cooking on Friday at 115 for the high temperature. For KPBS News, I'm Erin Calandra. Ebony, back to you.
Station Houston on 1 for Dragon. Are you ready for capture for step 6 in 1.102?
And we have capture confirmation. The capture coming at 5:54 a.m. Central Time.
SpaceX has arrived at the International Space Station. The special delivery includes an artificial intelligence robot. A German astronaut will use it for science experiments. The SpaceX capsule also brought a pair of mice to study bacteria in the gut and see if it changes while in space. New technology is making it harder to tell the difference between real news and disinformation. AP reporter Krista Fourier shows us how video is being used to make people appear to say things they never said.
It's become a rallying cry.
Fake news, folks, fake news.
But that line between fact and fiction is getting further blurred, thanks to new technology.
A deep fake, in a nutshell, is a fake video. It's a video that has been created by essentially feeding a computer algorithm lots of images. You feed it enough of that content, and over time, the algorithm learns how to mimic that content.
Deepfakes use facial mapping and artificial intelligence to produce videos that experts say are getting more sophisticated every day.
You can sort of see a trajectory develop where within a year or two, it's going to be really hard for a person to distinguish between a real video and a fake video.
Both Republicans and Democrats predict this high-tech way of putting words in someone's mouth will be the next weapon in disinformation wars.
We know there are people out there that are trying to divide society, influence elections, and we know this capacity exists. So it's only logical that at some point someone's going to take the next step and sort of weaponize it.
There have already been attempts at it. In 2009, the U.S. Embassy in Moscow complained to the Russian Foreign Ministry about a fake sex tape, allegedly made to smear a U.S. diplomat.
We're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time.
In April, BuzzFeed published a deepfake with comedian and director Jordan Peele that appears to show President Barack Obama giving an address.
Now, you see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele.
According to the video's producer, the clip was created using a combination of professional and free video editing programs that use machine learning.
I knew it was possible, but I wasn't sure if it would actually work. And when it was working, I was like, this is crazy. Like that, it's you know, it's still pretty difficult, but like way easier than it should be.
The U.S. Defense Department and universities are working on technologies to detect fake images and videos. But lawmakers and intelligence officials worry that U.S. adversaries will use doctored video to influence midterm elections, future political campaigns, or jeopardize national security.
It takes some real forensic capability, technical capabilities, to be able to show that it's not real. And by the time that's done, it's been widely disseminated.
Rubio and other lawmakers hope knowing about this technology will make people rethink taking a video at face value. Krista Fourier, Associated Press.
The 6th annual San Diego International Fringe Festival ended last night with an awards ceremony at the Spreckles Theater. KPBS arts reporter Beth Accomando recaps some of the best of the fest.
Over the past 11 days, San Diego International Fringe Festival served up 61 shows from San Diego and around the globe. The shows were unjuried and uncensored, allowing artists complete creative freedom. 9841 Rukali was the most perfectly realized show of the festival. I was thrilled to see it take home 2 awards, Outstanding Drama and Outstanding Actor in a Drama for Gianmarco Bussetti. His one-man show recounted the life of a gypsy boxer living in Nazi Germany.
What's your name? No. What's your Sinti name? Rukali. And what does it mean? What does Rukali mean? Tree. Rukali means tree. And the more you say, the more you feel your courage rise. Tree. And then she said, look at you, look straight in the eye. Young Rukali troll. A tree doesn't fall if its roots are deep enough.
Austin Dean Ashford, who was performing at his first ever Fringe Festival, also took home 2 awards. One was for Outstanding Solo Performance in Island Trap, a retelling of the Odyssey.
My body's a medallion. 100% Yay Area, California. Son of Howard and Anita. Great debater and great speaker. I'm a fully loaded spirit with special features, born gifted. And I'm willing to be phenomenally, which is why I'm polishing my shine like an anomaly, indescribably. If life was a game of chess, then I would be the queen. Kiss the ring, I'm owning the board like Monopoly. I'm a doctor, constantly giving surgery. Mayweather don't want it with me in this platinum lyrical ring. I belong with the phenoms because we click like icons. Faithful to my seed like Zion. Big mane on my face like a lion. Black avatar with no bites on. Austin Dean Ashford. Mr. Black Lives Matter.
His show received a second award for Best of Fest, and it was fun to watch his reaction when he discovered it came with a trip to New Zealand Fringe. New Zealand shows scored well, too. La Moana won for Outstanding Ensemble. And the duo of Sub won Outstanding Dance Performance for Blueprint. Outstanding Site-Specific went to I'm Smiling Because I'm Uncomfortable, which was a play about eating disorders performed at an Airbnb while the artist prepared a meal. And from San Diego, Turning Tides Theater Company won Outstanding Musical Ensemble for their pop culture mashup, Wicked Wizards, a Potter parody. And the good news is that people will have a second chance to catch the show in an extended format at the Lyceum Theater during Comic-Con. In addition to the Fringe Awards, artists also got to vote for their favorite show. And this year, artist pick went to Cinebra, A History of Horror. That was the show I felt best embodied the wacky and wonderful spirit of Fringe.
Where horror girls and their married men streaking cosplay with a refinesse, with the biggest brands, with the biggest brains, and movie facts running through our veins. If your horror knowledge is so far, you could learn a thing from Cinebra. Ha 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 ha.
That's it from Fringe 2018 and 11 days of theater bliss. Beth Accomando, KPBS News.
San Diego sports fans may be some of the first to see LeBron James leave the Lakers. The team's first preseason game will be right here at the Valley View Casino Center. On September 30th, the Lakers will take on the Denver Nuggets. The four-time NBA MVP announced Sunday night that he has agreed to a 4-year, $154 million deal with LA. This means for the second time in his career, he'll say goodbye to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now here's a look at what we're working on for tomorrow in the KPBS newsroom. Nearly a month after the primary election, all the votes are in. We'll have an update from the San Diego Registrar on its final vote count. And on KPBS Midday Edition, new research shows how the sport of non-contact boxing can slow the effects of Parkinson's disease. You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.